Hello everyone, welcome to another study point. আজি আমি ক্লাছ 9 social science geography part chapter 2 atmosphere, structure, air pressure and wind system. সেই chapter 6 পৰা 12 questions লৈ আনিছো। তে ভিডিওটো ষ্টাৰ্ট কৰাৰ আগতে মই সকলোকে ক'ব বিচাৰিছো যে মোৰ চেনেলটো সাবস্ক্ৰাইব কৰি দিব। তো question number 6, write the importance of atmosphere towards creation of a favorable physical environment on the earth. The atmosphere is an essential element of the earth's physical environment. The atmosphere along with the land and water make it possible to create a favorable environment for the origin, growth and maintenance of all the living creatures on the earth. The gases required for the human, plant and animal on the earth are provided by the atmosphere. It also helps in the distribution and circulation of heat and moisture on the earth's surface. The atmosphere stops the harmful UV rays of the sun reaching the earth. The formation and changes of the weather and climate that take place on the earth occur due to the atmosphere. The rainfall also occurs due to the presence of the atmosphere. Thus, the existence of all human beings, plants and animals is supported by the atmosphere. Question number 7. What is wind? Discuss the factor of origin of wind. The air which moves around the earth's surface. The motion of the air is known as the wind. The factor of the origin of wind are 1. Temperature variation. 2. Number, pressure gradient. The wind, that is movement of air, basically depend on the temperature difference of the atmosphere and its closely associated atmospheric pressure. When air temperature of a place increases, the air becomes lighter and move up, and a low pressure is formed at that place. As a result of the air movement take place from high pressure region characterized by relatively low temperature to this low pressure region. It means that the pressure gradient resulting from the pressure difference starts the movement of air. This air movement always take place from relatively a high pressure region to a low pressure region. This is in the direction of pressure gradient. The wind velocity, however, on the pressure gradient force the warm air of the equatorial region which move up from the earth's surface blow towards the high latitude region and again descends in the polar region. Again, that air from the polar region move towards the equatorial region as cold air through the lower atmosphere. Question number 8. What is the most important reason for the origin of wind? Briefly discuss the factor determining the velocity and direction of wind. The most important reason for the origin of the wind is the temperature of the air. The temperature of the air determines pressure and the difference in the density of the pressure of the air. The wind moves from the high pressure belt to the low pressure belt. The main factors which influence the movement of the wind in any region are as follows. A. Pressure gradient force. The force which is created from the difference in atmospheric pressure on the surface of the earth causes the movement of the air. This force is known as the pressure gradient force, and the difference between the atmospheric pressure of two places is known as pressure gradient. The velocity of the wind increases when pressure gradient is higher and velocity of the wind is low when the pressure gradient is low. B. Gravitational force. The thin envelope of the air that surrounds the surface of the earth is held by the gravitational force, and the pressure of the air is also influenced by the gravitational force. The gravitational force reduces as we go to higher altitude from the sea level. The air becomes lighter. The gravitational force also controls the movement of air from one place to another, and the movement becomes curved. C. Centrifugal force. The Earth's rotation on the Earth's axis, an outward force, is formed from its center. This force is called centrifugal force. The wind is deflected due to the centrifugal force. D. Frictional force. The frictional force influences the velocity of the air in a negative manner. The frictional force is more when the earth's surface is rugged in nature, that is, more mountains and valleys, high rise buildings, and scattered vegetation are present. This results in lowering of the wind velocity. The frictional force is also low when the wind blows through plains area like snow covered lands. Question number 9. What do you mean by Coriolis force? With the help of diagram, briefly discuss its contribution in determining the direction of wind. The force generated from the center of the earth as a result of rotation of the earth on its axis is known as centrifugal force. The wind direction is slightly deflected by the centrifugal force. This force is known as Coriolis force. As this phenomena was first described by a French mathematician, Gaspard de Coriolis. As a result of Coriolis force, wind get deflected towards right in clockwise direction in the northern hemisphere and towards left in anti-clockwise direction in the southern hemisphere. Diagram to solve. Question number 10. What is mean by pressure gradient force? What is its contribution in air movement? The force causes from the atmospheric pressure difference on the earth's surface influences the movement of the air. This force is known as the pressure gradient force. The rate of atmospheric pressure difference between the two places is known as a pressure gradient. The amount of force caused due to pressure gradient depends on the defined pressure between two places and distance between them. The velocity of the wind is higher if the difference between pressure of the atmosphere between two places is more or the pressure gradient is steep. The wind velocity decreases with the increase in the distance between two places. The pressure gradient also influences the movement of the air when it flows from high pressure zone to low pressure zone. Question number 11. Briefly discuss the contribution of the Earth's gravitational force in the air movement. The Earth's gravitational force holds a thin layer of air which surrounds the Earth's surface. The weight or pressure of air also depends on the Earth's gravitational force. The gravitational pull decreases as there are increase in the altitude from the sea level. The air becomes lighter and the air pressure also reduces. The vertical movement of air in the atmosphere from the high pressure to low pressure continue as a result of the pressure differences. The air moves from valley towards the mountain. Due to gravitational forces, the movement of air from one place another take curved line in the place of straight line. Question number 12. What do you mean by naming of wind? How the wind blowing over a place is named? The naming of wind is done based on wind direction. In other words, the name of wind is given according to the direction from which the wind blows. For instance, the wind that blows from west direction is called westerly wind, from northeast in northeasterly wind, etc. The air must present in the wind absorb the physical characteristics like heat, moisture, etc. of the region through which the wind blows. This is why the wind blowing over the ocean contains large amount of water vapor. On the other hand, the wind blowing over the tropical desert generally remain dry and hot on Earth's surface. The direction from which wind comes is called windward and the direction of which it blows is called leeward. The next video আমি বেলেগ questions বোৰ আনিম। ধন্যবাদ।